Okay, in this tutorial we're just going to take a look at colors and color tones. Alright, this is a super quick lesson. So I did a lesson once on colors and how to set colors if you're not a trained artist, because people who go to school and study art have a lot of work ahead of them, and they study this. It's huge. It's a huge task. So when you see somebody, painting beautiful paintings and doing beautiful 3D illustrations, well, it's a good chance they studied art for a long time. All right, and they're really good at it. It just doesn't happen automatically. But so if you're not a trained artist, one of the best things you can do is just to, you notice I have these colors in here. I have this green and this kind of violet purple color in here. So there's two things that I look at when I set colors. One is when I set a color here, and then I set this object here. I want this to offset this color somehow, and the way I generally choose it is, notice here on the purple, if I go in here, I avoid colors that are adjacent to the other colors, and I look more towards colors that are across the center of the circle to the other side. And what usually works is a color on the other side and kind of around in this range, kind of from these yellows through this turquoise, would work pretty good for this object here, like that. That's a good starter. But it's not just that. The other way to use this circle to your advantage is if I take this, let's see where this green is on the circle. So you notice that green is not that far from the center of the circle, and this color, it's not that far from the center as well. So that's one thing you want to do as well. Even though green is a nice balance in the circle because it's almost directly across, what I don't want to do is I don't want to, and this is where the tone factor comes in, I don't want to make my green way out here like this, alright? And nor do I want to make it way in here so it's too light. See, there's not enough contrast there, and it's too hard right there. You see the difference on that? So I'm going to Control Z that back to my normal green, like this. Alright, so that, and then so every time I'm setting colors, until you get an intuitive feel for colors, and I developed my intuitive feel from doing puzzles for years and years, and also painted about 100 paintings, and I learned a lot of mistakes because I wasn't a trained artist. I'm still not a trained artist, but with time you learn things. But so if you're not a trained artist, just generally try and keep your tones the same distance away from the center of the circle. It doesn't have to be exact, but approximately, and generally try and keep your colors of different objects way on opposite sides of the circle or within a reasonable range like that. And just by paying attention to those basic rules, you can dramatically improve the way that your scene looks. At least that's what I think. Okay, well that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson.